Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Obscure, well, sort of obscure toy lines from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now keep in mind guys, when we're looking at these, I'm really happy if you remember these toys, but to some other people, they might actually be obscure. They might not remember them or even heard of them, so keep that in mind when you're watching and enjoy. Let's start off with WCW wrestling figures from Galoob, 1990 to 1991. WCW figures are based off of World Championship Wrestling stars, coming out 1 year after LJN's WWF figures. They were very similar in size and style and featured 12 of WCW's main stars. Originally, only Kmart would touch the brand. Toys R Us was initially very hesitant, but eventually made a huge order late in 1991, but by then the line was already on the decline. Toys R Us got stuck with a lot of toys that made it to bargain bins. The Wuzzles by Hasbro, 1985 to 1986. The Wuzzles were plush characters similar to Care Bears, and Wuzzles, meaning mix-up, were a combination of two animals. They were pushed extensively, but only lasted one season in the cartoon, and only several toys were actually ever made. Both the toy line and cartoon did actually do fairly well in America and the UK, but production on both ceased rather suddenly when the lead voice actor had passed away. Each Wuzzle was packed with a book starring themselves. I know I might get a little flack for this one, but it's in here. Wrestling Superstars by LJN, 1984 to 1989. Wrestling Superstars were the first action figures based off wrestlers for the WWF. They were made of solid rubber and paint and were very accurate in appearance for their real-life counterparts. LJN closed their toy division in 1989, canceling the Wrestling Superstar line with it. The 8-inch wrestlers were the main line of the Wrestling Superstar collection. Each superstar came with a biography card on the packaging and a poster inside. There are 64 figures with unique molds, plus an additional 6 major repaints that change the figures' look significantly. Popples from Mattel, 1986 to 1988. Popples were a toy and television franchise created by a subsidiary of American Greetings. Popples resembled brightly colored marsupial teddy bears with long tails ending in a pom-pom. Each Popple character transformed to resemble a brightly colored ball with use of a pouch on its stomach. There was a short revival in 2007 of the toy line, and then a Netflix cartoon revival in 2015. Mattel sold the rights to Hasbro in 2018. Masters of the Universe, Mattel, 1988. Movie toy line. Toys based off the movie, based off the cartoon. In 1987, a live-action He-Man film was made by Canon Films entitled Masters of the Universe. In the movie, Skeletor has finally conquered Eternia after stealing the cosmic key from the locksmith, which allows him to gain entry into Castle Grayskull. Although Mattel had hoped the movie would boost sales of the toy line, it instead had no effect on the line's falling sales, and the Masters of the Universe toy line was finally discontinued in early 1988 under immense financial difficulties. Spin Jizz, Tommy, 1988 to 1990. Spin Jizz is a ratcheting spinning top game created by Tommy and distributed in North America by Parker Brothers in the late 1980s. The game set was sold as a Battle Stadium plastic arena with 2 Power Winder launchers and 2 Spinja characters enclosed with the arena, which doubled as the storage case. More characters, launchers, and an oversized playing arena were also made available separately. The object of the game was very similar to Beyblades, in that you wind up your character, put them in the arena, and try to knock out their opponent. The New Adventures of He-Man, Mattel, 1990 to 1991. In 1990, a few years after the financially disastrous ending of the original Masters of the Universe product line, a second He-Man animated series and toy line titled The New Adventures of He-Man was created. The new series was radically different from the original fantasy-oriented milieu, shifting to an almost purely science fiction setting, which sees He-Man transported to the futuristic planet of Primus. Only lasting a few waves of less popular action figures, totaling 28 distinct figures in all, including 7 vehicles, 2 playsets, and 2 accessories. And that's gonna do it for another episode of obscure, well, sort of obscure toy lines. So now, down in the comments, guys, I need some recommendations for the next episode. If I use yours, I will mention you in the video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in about a week.